Maybe the important thing here is that whether we are retiring or continuing to work, there can be challenges on either side of that, and the need to stay attuned to the body is very important. Okay, we've now reached later adulthood and the elder years stage. Now, if in midlife we're starting to let go, right, which can be good and freeing, as well as having other mixed feelings attached, then I think later adulthood and elder years can feel like even more letting go. So much like with the other stages, there can be a lot of variance here in how people experience this point in their life. And I think this can be based on a lot of different issues, from health to financial security to emotional security to how much grief they may be managing, and sometimes to simply how challenging life has been up to now. There can be a lot of benefits to retirement, of course. If we're retiring, we may have the opportunity to go a little slower sometimes. We may have the opportunity to spend more time doing the things that we've been putting off until now, or the things that we really enjoy doing, the travel, the golfing, all those things. And many people will be looking forward to this, of course. Bear in mind, though, retirement is a very big adjustment and not always a smooth one for people. So for some people, it can end up feeling like a bit of an empty space. They may find new routines very difficult to adjust to. Some people notice that they're bored. Some people notice, that they actually aren't doing the things that they thought that they were going to be doing, right? Sometimes people will notice that they're sort of staying up too late or sleeping in too late, or having trouble sleeping in general. So it's a big change. And for some people, it may not feel like what they thought it was going to feel like, right? And they may wrestle with this a bit, and they may wrestle with their sense of purpose. And sometimes mood can even dip a little bit. It's kind of ironic, right? Because many people will spend most of their adulthood craving some space, craving some time to slow down, and then for some people, when they get it, it just doesn't always feel as good as what they thought. So that's a big adjustment to watch out for and to be prepared for. A good rule of thumb, I think, is to spend some time in advance thinking about what your perfect average day or your perfect average week would look like, and to see if that feels satisfying to you. And maybe even if you get a chance to kind of try that out in advance so that you have a sense of it, right? That's a good idea. And in this stage, for those of us who will be continuing to work, I think that it's important to certainly take care of ourselves, take care of ourselves during the work and make sure that it feels manageable. I think work is great for providing us with kind of a sense of purpose, for providing us with routine, for meeting other people and being out and about, and certainly it's great for an income, right? But the key here is to take all those benefits as much as you can while staying tuned into the body's needs, right? Meeting them as best as you can. So I think that some things that we might want to start considering here are, do I need to go a little bit slower? Do I need to cut back a little bit if I can? Do I need to work a little differently if I can? Can I adjust the schedule? Can I do a different type of work? This kind of thing. One thing I think is, as we're all living longer, more of us in the future will likely be working into later years, and there's still a lot of research to be done on this, never mind policy to be implemented to support our work and our contribution as older adults. But maybe the important thing here is that whether we are retiring or continuing to work, there can be challenges on either side of that, and the need to stay attuned to the body is very important. Now, here's another point. Psychologically, what I would say is that it's very okay and actually quite healthy to be feeling just a little bit vulnerable at this stage, right? We do become more conscious of safety and security and health for very good reasons, so that's quite normal. I think some of the questions that are kind of posed to us in the latter end of this stage can sound a little like, how am I doing with any health issues that I have? or, any health issues my husband or my wife might have? Do I have what I need? Do I feel safe and cared for? Do my family and caregivers know what my wishes are in relation to dying and remembering my life after I have died? How do I feel about letting go of what feels unfinished? Because we know it doesn't all get finished, right? And we have to let go of some things. What beliefs and values are the most important to me now? What am I left with that's the most important to me? What is my purpose now, right? And what do I want to leave behind? Now, of course, Aging with Dignity has a wealth of practical resources and contact points which you can use to help you kind of think about any of these matters. For the purposes of our reminiscence, though, we're going to stick with the themes of health, mortality, and spirituality for these later adult years. We're going to reflect on some questions within those themes. Before we get busy with those, though, let's ask one big question, one kind of centering kind of question. If you're letting go of some things in this stage, as many people are, what are they? And the second half of the question, which is also really important, is as you let go of some of these things that may have been important in your life, or as they're changing, right? Maybe people or places or things, things you used to do, or sometimes even ideas that we've had about how life was going to go, right? As you let go of those, or as they're changing, what are you gaining instead, which helps, right? That's a really important question. So the things that you're gaining might be practical things. They might be things like a new relationship, or people who are offering support, or you might be gaining more time in your schedule, right? But importantly, these might also be psychological or spiritual insights. That's something that can come in this stage. So I think this sounds a little like, as I let go of this, right, I come to understand or appreciate that. Okay? See if you can play with that a little bit. As I let go of this, I'm coming to understand this. Now, I'm not saying that's an easy question to answer, but it's a valuable one, which sort of sets us up for the growth, psychological and spiritual growth, which characterizes this stage.